Kart 8!
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a fantastic car racer that features over 40 characters to choose from and over 40 courses to play on. The game is currently available new on Nintendo Switch for $59.99 in the US. It's a great buy on the Nintendo Switch and will 100% be playable on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now on launch, the Nintendo Switch 2 will offer another Mario Kart that has an open world element to it, but will cost you $80 for the base game alone, making it one of Nintendo's most expensive first-party titles in decades. So I've been wanting to make a video on the Switch 2 for a minute. If you're wondering, I am very excited. I am a Nintendo fanboy. I am one of those people that are part of one of the problems we're going to be discussing today. I feel like if I'm going to make Switch 2 videos, I feel like I have to start with the bad that has come out in both the direct and after. The gates of hell has opened up, and I want to just get that out of the way so I can talk about the stuff I'm actually excited about. But I want to get this out there so that people know kind of my stance on some of these certain things. I have a bullet points to kind of keep myself on track, so yeah, let's get started. But first, I want to clarify something. I will not be talking about the tariff situation. I don't like talking about politics, even though it's important to do so in certain moments, and there are other people out there who are making videos on the Switch 2 that are more in line with the political side of things and know more about the tariffs and all that. So this is pretty much the prices of everything from, what day is it of recording? April 4th. As of April 4th, these are the prices that we know, and I'm not going over things that are not, the prices might have risen because of the whole tariff thing. Or they might have gone down because of the tariff thing. Maybe because I know Vietnam and Trump, they're like in talks or whatever about tariffs and making a deal. I don't know. It's a whole thing that I just don't want to go into. So we're going to just move past that now. We're going to just cut to the next thing. Before we continue to our regular scheduled program, I must tell you guys about today's sponsor, which is me, my Twitch and my second channel. On my Twitch, I do various Let's Plays, good and bad games. For example, a couple weeks back, I did a playthrough of Sonic and the Secret Rings and tortured myself playing that. And I love streaming over there. I enjoy it, so I do it quite often. So follow me to know when I do that. And you should also subscribe to my second channel, Brandon Vanal Live. On that channel, I post some highlights from my streams, but I also post other videos. Sometimes I'll post just random videos I don't feel are fitted for the main channel. And if I have any small update videos I need to do, they'll be over there as well. So go subscribe to Brandon Vanal Live and follow me on Twitch at Brandon Vanal. And yeah, go follow me there so I don't have to put this in every stinking video. Alright, so let's talk about the console itself, the price. So, and we're going over US prices here. $449.99 for the base console. $499.99 for the base console with Mario Kart World in it. I personally, when I was thinking about how much the Switch 2 would be, I actually had the range $350 to $500. So honestly, I'm fine with this price personally. I understand though why a lot of people are kind of upset about it, or really upset about it, because Nintendo on the hardware side of things have been playing catch up for quite a while. But for me, I'm fine with the price because I think Nintendo, regardless, they put out quality first party games. I mainly get like first party Nintendo games. Third party stuff I do get on PC. But, when they throw out their first-party games, most of the time they hit. They really do. I'm a big fan of my Marios, my Zeldas, my Kirby's, my Pokemon. Even though I think Pokemon might need some help. My Metroids, I'm one of those people who are like, graphics don't matter for the most part. Like, they do to an extent. It really depends on the situation. But with the Switch 1, I don't think I've seen a game that really is super unappealing to me, like not fun. I think the closest thing honestly was Pokemon Scarlet and Violet when you're in certain areas and it's like a fine 30 frames per second, but then you go, there's a lake area and then there's also like a bamboo kind of foresty area that's really beautiful, but it's like drops to 2 frames a second and that kind of kills it for me. But besides that, like I think most of the games look fine. I think they look good. And yeah, I'm glad that we're getting enhanced versions of games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, for me personally, the price of the console itself is fair to me, but I do understand why some people think it's a little bit high. And you know, it's like the more I think about the voice chat thing, and it's hilarious to me that they're finally doing it in 2025 when PlayStation and Microsoft had this going on back in 2008. So yeah, that's like the main thing I point to, which is like I understand why you're frustrated. I understand why you're angry. They're playing catch up. And I feel like that's something that they need to focus on apart from these gimmicks that they've been doing, like the whole mouse thing. It's really cool. It's a really cool gimmick in my opinion. But I feel like they need to focus more on like the graphical side of things and, you know, being able to appease the people who care about graphics and performance and stuff like that. Not people like me who are just like Nintendo enthusiasts, Nintendo nerds who just care if the game is fun. Like some people, they don't think the game is fun if it doesn't look good. I personally think a game can look good and just not be fun. But, you know, I get why people are upset about the price, so yeah, I understand. One game that everyone is upset about that is not free, that we don't know the price of yet, but it can't be more than $5, is that Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. How is that not a pack-in game? Nintendo came out with arguably one of the best pack-in games ever, Wii Sports. That game was incredible. That game's still fun to this day. I think it's better than Nintendo Switch Sports. You guys remember Wii Boxing and Boxing, I don't remember what his name is, but like, God, Wii Boxing was the shit, dude. Nintendo Switch Sports doesn't have boxing. They're too pussy to put it in. Wii Bowling? Like, come on. Why wouldn't they have that? It's an instruction manual for the console. This is the one I genuinely 100,000% understand why people are angry about. That should be free. I don't know what they're thinking. They should make that free. Who's going to buy that? If you're going to buy it, let me know in the comments. Do you plan to buy the welcome tour? I'm not. I would probably spend 2 minutes in it and then just get bored and then move on and play one of my Switch 1 games. So that one is so valid in my eyes. It's so ridiculous and it makes me just angry thinking about it. So let's just move on. Before I get into like game prices, I do want to talk about GameCube for a sec and my disappointment that we might not be getting Wind Waker HD port. We might not be getting it, or the Twilight Princess one. It makes me so sad because the first GameCube game they're adding to the service is Wind Waker. And I think that was just them blatantly saying to us without saying it, hey, you want Wind Waker on the Switch, right? Here you go. The lesser, better version with lesser quality of life shit. Here you go. Great. But anyways, besides that, I do think it does make the expansion pass slightly more worth it if you like to play, if you want to play these GameCube games, especially since they have Coliseum and Gale Darkness. I do wonder if they're going to incorporate Pokemon Home into those somehow. That'd be interesting to find out. Alright, I want to touch on that real quick, but let's move on to the game prices, which, oh my god, what a shitstorm. Let me start by saying there is some misinformation out there. It's technically misinformation. It's misinformation for US prices. So, people are saying that digital games, specifically Mario Kart World, is going to be $80 or $79.99, but I'm just going to round up $80. Digital, but $90 physical. That's not true. It's going to be like that in other parts of the world. In some other parts, I think Europe and I think Canada. I didn't even know like other countries like charged more for physical copies. That's kind of fucked. But it says on the Nintendo US website it is $80. I'll get back to that in a moment, but I want to talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza first. Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to be $69.99, $70 at launch. And I think for a long awaited first party Nintendo game, first 3D Donkey Kong in a while, it looks like fun, it looks huge, it's practically Mario Odyssey 2. I think it's fair. Ish. It's pushing fair. I'll say that. I do think if it was a $60 game, people would be a lot more kinder about it because it does give more $60 vibes, but if they want to charge $70 for it, I'm not. It's kind of like I don't know. I kind of teeter-totter on it because like I said, it's a highly anticipated first party game, but does that warrant it to be more expensive? I don't think so, which is why Mario Kart World being $80 is fucking ridiculous. Donkey Kong Bonanza looks so amazing, and a lot of people love their single player experiences. Okay, I would never imagine the most expensive Nintendo game that's like brand new since at least probably the SNES N64 days would be a fucking Mario Kart game. I'm confidently saying at launch, I am not buying Mario Kart World. It looks like a blast. Okay? It looks awesome. The whole free roam thing is like a game changer. The driving to each course, that's also really cool to see. And all the new characters and costumes and all that, it looks great. But you know what else is a great game? I mentioned at the beginning of this video with my little skit thing that I did, my mini review. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That was on Switch 1 and will most likely be compatible with the Switch 2. You want a Mario Kart Day 1 Switch 2? You have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe already? Perfect. There's your Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still a phenomenal game. I played it the other day. It's still great. Especially if you have the DLC courses, like damn. Rainbow Road Wii, still an amazing track. Mario Kart is not like at the top of my list for Nintendo games that I need to have. Like nowhere near that. It's like it's cool to have. It's a fun game to play with friends. But, I don't know if all my friends are getting a Switch 2 day 1. So really, it's just worth it just to wait on it until the price drops out. Like, okay, I'll say this. There is a Mario Kart World Direct coming out. Maybe there's a reason it needs a full Direct. They need to explain to me why it's worth $80 to buy. They need to explain that to the people. They need to sell this game to be $80 somehow because as big as it looks, as fun as it looks, it does not feel like an $80 experience to me. And I'm a guy who spent $100 to get the Suicide Squad Deluxe Edition. But you know what else? That was a Deluxe Edition game. That was not even this is the base game. Base game $80. The worst part about that is that sets a new industry standard if they do numbers. If that game does numbers on launch, that sets a new precedent for other game companies to look at their games and be like, "Oh, so we can do that now. We can charge $80 for our games." It's wild to me. I heard another YouTuber say this, but I kind of want to echo the sentiment is that I think that Nintendo is getting cocky because the Switch did amazing and they think that I don't know. If I felt a weird like the more I've sat on it, the more I've kind of teeter-totter between feeling disrespected in a way. And you know what? I actually didn't care at first, and it took me a minute to like actually make the decision not to get it at launch. I felt like if you've played Detroit Become Human, when Marcus becomes a deviant and he's like you see him like pounding, trying to break free and stuff. That's how I've been feeling back and forth. Like anytime I saw a treehouse, I was struggling. I'm like, I'm gotta get it day one. I gotta get it day one. But now I'm finally like, I'm not getting it day one because I have a perfectly good Mario Kart if I want to play Mario Kart with my friends who happen to have Switch ones. It's just it doesn't feel worth it to get Super Mario Kart World. Sorry, it doesn't feel worth getting Mario Kart one day one. That's all I'm saying. I'd say unless they drop the price to, I'll take it 70. If they drop it to $70, or they somehow in that Mario Kart World Direct have something that just grabs me by the throat, I will not be getting that game at launch. So, and I encourage you guys to do the same. Fellow Nintendo enthusiasts, just stay away from that game for a while at least, okay? Let the initial sales just fuck them in the ass. But yeah, as I said, I'm part of a problem. I am getting a Switch 2 at launch regardless, as if I can, that is. I'm not sure what the scalpers are going to do or if the tariffs are going to affect anything or whatever. Those are my thoughts on the pricing of everything. I'm going to be kind of mix mashing between doing videos about music related stuff, then switch to related stuff for like the next couple months. The next video I'm going to make is going to be an album review. So be sure to stay in tune for that. And then I'll talk more about games like Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell when you do. And yeah, so long and good night.